trans people exist, and some people don't like that. So what happens when a trans character is added to a video game? Well, the short answer is this.
Now, this is not what the character actually says. This is localizers fucking around again. We actually have I take that back. Their localization teams are already woke as hell. There's been enough evidence.
So, here's the thing. There is no actual reference to Vivian being trans in the original game.
There's no such thing as trans people. That's something that you created. Have fun with your little dreamland, but that's just not even real.
Nintendo decided to make a remake of the game Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Nintendo decided to restore the trans identity of one of the characters. What pissed me off is that people kept trying to deny it, even though it was clear as day, and it had literally always been there in the Japanese translation. On one hand, it's really awesome to finally see a character that really represents me in this way. People didn't like this. So let's take a look at some people who are very angry about this change.
I don't want to say it's a cultural misunderstanding because
Title card literally says leader of the bigot army. That's not a good sign.
I think these woke-ass localizers know exactly what's going on in the Japanese culture. Many different websites are covering this thing. So look at the gamer, right? Let me show you the gamer first because maybe that'll give you a little bit of context over the big difference between a shill media website and someone actually trying to tell you the truth, right?
There's the wokest media that only spews lies, and then there's my media that speaks the truth. Because I'm so far down in this digital echo chamber that any sort of media that counteracts my set of beliefs is automatically seen to me as a lie. By the way, Hypnotic, you're welcome for editing out the part where you're tripping over your own words and not knowing what to say next, like how I do in my videos. So you're welcome to Venmo me or...
So look at this really quick. Check this out. So we got an article from The Gamer. It says Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door review, the definitive way to play a classic. This is not the right one. Fuck. Shit. I got the wrong one. Hold on. Vivian is confirmed to be trans in Paper Mario Remake's English translation. It says after the original English localization removed references to Vivian being trans, the Paper Mario Remake adds it back in. Right? I'm a professional YouTuber. Don't judge me.
I'm feeling rather judgmental today.
So, here's the thing. There is no actual reference to Vivian being trans in the original game.
Yeah, there is in the original Japanese version. I don't know what I'm explaining to this guy because I am absolutely 100% certain that he's already heard this before and just didn't listen to it. Because that's the thing about these fuckers. It doesn't matter how much evidence that you have. They'll basically just not listen.
This is why I think it's a big-time cultural issue. And this is why I have this picture here that I'm going to showcase to kind of help people understand the mind of a woke localizer.
This is the most annoying point that this guy makes.
Shout out to our boy Grooms. He posted this over on the Twatters. Okay. Here's the thing. Trans is not synonymous with the following 5 terms: cross-dressing, otokonoko, new half, okama, and gender bender.
Number 1, this does not apply to Vivian. She was always trans, even the Japanese version. Number 2, these are all derogatory-ish ways of referring to queer people. People often use the idea of cross-dressing to try to sidestep the idea of a character being trans.
They're not synonymous. They don't mean the same thing.
Okay, this is true, but this doesn't take away from the idea that Vivian is queer. Oh, Vivian's cross-dressing. In what? She only wears a fucking hat. None of these match Vivian's character.
What it is that woke localizers, what they end up doing is if they see any of the 5 terms from Japanese culture to represent essentially what is called a femboy, right? It's a boy that knows he's a boy, that represents himself as a boy, but happens to dress like a girl.
They also like to pull the femboy card, although I know that none of them would even remotely approve of femboys if it didn't support their argument at the time. Because that's just how these kind of guys are. They're slippery, they're hard to pin down. 1 second they're against something, and the other second they're pro something because they can use it as an argument against trans people. But that's not nearly all of the videos that people have talked about this topic in, because when something that they can deem as woke happens, they just don't stop. There was like an endless stream of videos every single time there was something woke.
But this time, they're outright changing something to make it seem a little bit more friendly for the LGBTQ plus community.
Wowzers yowzers, why did that guy sound like he was rapping?
So, if you follow anime, manga,
If you take a look at my favorite anime for a second, you'll realize just how wrong you are.
one of the characters is like a femboy.
Oh, I understand that completely. That makes much more sense. So if character in manga is femboy, then trans people don't exist in media? Got it, thanks, dude.
But for some reason, anybody that decides to dabble in the opposite gender's clothing is trans now.
If there are just so many gender non-conforming characters in Japanese media, then why are there so few trans characters in Western media? It's almost like you're kind of bullshitting right now.
Truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now their usual bullying feels heavier. Now, this is not what the character actually says.
Yeah, this is actually true. Apparently this scene did not exist originally, and it was added to kind of clarify Vivian's trans identity. But it wasn't added to completely like wokeify Vivian's not woke identity.
This is localizers fucking around again.
Can't spell translation without trans, so what did you fucking expect, dude?
We actually have the translation thanks to Packer Girl, who's been sharing this. So the original Japanese text right here, if you translate it, says a former member of the Shadow Trio. He may look like a girl, but he's actually a boy.
Fun fact, if you look right above this translation, you can see that this was actually just a common depiction of trans women in media at the time of the release of The Thousand Year Door. But I guess that facts don't care about your feelings or whatever.
But the localizers for the English version, Nintendo of America, decided that they were going to go ahead and make assumptions for everybody. And now you've got Kotaku making articles about how great this is. People posting stuff like this saying, oh my God, we won so hard.
Sounds like someone sad that they lost.
This is what is apparently an accurate translation of who this character is. One of Mario's partners introduced Paper Mario, the 1,000 Year Door, a cute boy wielding fire magic who was once part of the group and he's known as the Shadow Trio. English is Vivian from the last Paper Mario adventure. She was a great friend once she split from her sisters. Here's a meme.
Huh, I wonder why they don't show any other evidence counteracting this. It's almost like they don't have any.
Which is crazy when you consider that a lot of the people that, really champion and celebrate a lot of this stuff, they have 65,000 different versions of male and female.
I heard that none of them are available to change the log by bulb because they're all too busy. They're gender.
But all of these different versions from Japan are just the one thing. That's it.
I'm sure that this is not true. This has never been true, not even once, because I am actually sure the opposite would happen if they were translating a trans character from another language into English. They would probably do everything that they could to stop them from being trans. In fact, they did this. We know they did this. They did this with Vivian.
I don't know.
In conclusion, trans people are in video games. That's cool. Some people don't think that's cool. Those people are stupid.